myself up, moving on to the better. Hey. Ain't no errors, baby, it's a new era. I wake up early, feeling rich like I'm Kesha. I get to the paper, boy. Extra. Work with me, you know that.
Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome in to another podcast to talk about our favorite team, the Arizona Cardinals. Huge shout out to the people that are currently in the chat. We got Jameson, we got Laura, we got Kojad, we got Juan, Arturo, Jameson, Jay. What's up, y'all? Appreciate you guys for tuning in. Definitely do me a huge favor. Smack up the like button here on your way in, ladies and gentlemen. We got a lot to talk about today, and I already see a few people here in the chat saying, I hope the Arizona Cardinals start this weekend, and I'm going to be breaking some news, ladies and gentlemen. We're gonna break some hearts. Jonathan Gannon came out earlier this morning and already told everybody that it's going to be very similar. Like, the game plan is going to be very similar to it was last week. So what does that tell us? Starters will not be playing in week 3 versus the Raiders. Stab to the heart. We're going to be seeing some Clayton Tune for a majority of that game as well. I'm pretty sure we're going to be see some Jacoby Brissett. I hope we see Jacoby Brissett a half and then a half of Clayton Tune. I feel like that would be the most idealistic thing to see. But kind of hearing what Jonathan Gannon has been saying about, Clayton Tune throughout the entirety of the week, and he's got a point, right? He's got a point in terms of, the offensive line really didn't do him justice. But I think there's a lot of Cardinal fans that are seeing the sample sizes that what we've seen from Clayton Tune, right? The Cleveland game a few years back and now this one, and then kind of seeing him sprinkled here and there on preseason. And I just hasn't been doing enough to kind of warrant a position on this roster, specifically because of how much depth we have on this O-line. I'm sorry, not O-line, D-line, as well as the cornerback position. I feel like we got to be bringing in the best 53 players. Now, Jonathan Gannon also did mention the fact that, he brought up that the Cardinals are going to be continuing to, look, or at least leaving it open, right? Because he mentioned at one point when the 53-man roster was constructed. And if you guys do not know, next Tuesday is going to be when the 53-man roster is going to be constructed. Just because it's constructed does not mean that that's going to be the final form, right? The Cardinals can still very well go after a few waiver claims, people that are cut from other teams. They could potentially grab somebody from their roster as well, right? So you got to keep that in mind. We have seen some trades that are already kind of going down in the world of the NFL. Nothing to do with the Cardinals, but there's some wide receivers that have been moved. Sky Moore, there's another wide receiver that was moved off from the Broncos. To be honest with you, like, I would have loved the Cardinals to kind of be in that contention of teams that are potentially looking for a wide receiver to trade for. Now, you can still very well go after a guy that's cut from the air from other teams, all 31 other teams. But as of right now, it definitely feels like the Arizona Cardinals are good with who they have right now, and there's going to be an open competition because, believe it or not, there's going to be a big open competition in week 3 of preseason. Now, I'm looking at the 53-man roster in terms of the one I constructed. I don't know if you guys know or if you guys watched it, but I made a video, I believe it was on Monday of this week. We kind of predicted the 53-man roster cut down. And since after that video was published, we have two people that one is an insider, and the other one usually doesn't miss. Both saying that they don't think that Walter Nolan will be available by week 1. BJ Ojolari, Bilal Nichols, and now Justin Jones is now in the conversation as well. So if truly there is a thought that BJ Ojolari, Walter Nolan, right, Bilal Nichols and Justin Jones won't be available, the Cardinals need to make a very, very tough decision in terms of what they're going to do with these potential open spots on the roster, right? Now, if Walter Nolan, for example, is only going to miss like week 1 or 2, they don't have to put him on the PUP list or keep him on the PUP list, right? They can activate him onto the roster and just make him as an inactive player in the regular season, right? Like, that can be something that the Cardinals can do, right? Kind of once they remove him, ramp him up and get him ready to kind of play football. Because as of right now, from this Sunday, it's 2 weeks away from the regular season to start, and that's not a lot of time to get people up and ready and ready for football form, right? We've been seeing Walter Nolan in training camp, right? At some point, he had a sleeve on his calf. The sleeve has been removed, but as of right now, it does not feel like he is going to be ready by week 1. Now, like I said, he could be removed off the PUP list, but still be listed as an inactive for the Cardinals. Now, BJ Ojolari, you also got, what's his name? Bilal Nichols. Both of them had injuries last year that we really haven't seen anything from them come all training camp, right? So there's those two guys that you got to think about as well. Justin Jones on the other side as well. So this is going to be very fascinating because, like I said, I constructed this 53-man roster with the thought that those guys were going to be back, right? Looking at my 53-man roster prediction, I got BJ Ojolari on here. I got Walter Nolan on here. I got, you know, uh, Justin Jones on here. So if those three guys aren't there, right, or they're not available, or they remain on the PUP, then turn IR, then we're going to be living in a world where, yeah, we truly do got a lot of open competition, potential holes opened up for the Arizona Cardinals cornerback room, defensive line, offensive line, right? Like this is going to be a real interesting way to see how the Arizona Cardinals decide to maneuver this, right? Because right now, the only position that I can see that I'm like, okay, that seems like pretty solidified is probably the tight end group. Like, I'm going to be real. The tight end group, Trey McBride, Tip Ryman, and Elijah Higgins. Like, that right there seems to be, okay, those are the three guys that are going to be there, right? But the O lineman group, right, with the exception of the starting five and Will Hernandez, you don't know who's going to be back there. We don't know if Hayden Connor is going to be available. He was, Gannon just said, a few days back that he's going to be missing some time. Christian Jones is going to be missing some time. The Cardinals did bring in some new faces as well, but like I don't know what the extent of the depth is going to be for the Arizona Cardinals bottom part of the depth chart, right? And then what comes down to the inside linebackers, are they going to do what I are predicted, bringing in 4 inside linebackers because just so much unknown within that core, right? Because originally I brought in Akeem Davis, Mac Wilson Sr., Cody Simon, and then Owen Papu, right? I don't know. I don't know if that's going to happen here for the Cardinals, but this is going to be very, very fascinating to see what the Cardinals decide to do because as of this morning, Jonathan Gannon confirmed that there will not be any starters, or at least the majority of the starters will not be playing in week 3 preseason versus the Raiders. So, for what it's worth, ladies and gentlemen, not sure if you guys are going to be watching it. Not sure if you're going to be watching week 3 versus the Raiders. Obviously, I will be watching because I want to see a lot of these guys that are on the bottom of the depth chart that are fighting for some specific spots, like Darren Hall being one of them. Denzel Burke, he was a late round pick. And because of all the injuries that happened, he might have a shoe in. But Elijah Jones, 3rd round pick last year. Keitrell Clark is another one as well. We got a lot of players that are having a lot of upside, right? A lot of intrigue if they're going to make this roster or not. But man, if we don't have our 16th overall pick, right? If you don't have BJ Ojolari, if you don't have Bilal or Justin Jones available by week 1, a real possibility is for them to potentially miss the first 4 weeks of the season, which would be pretty darn heartbreaking because that's right there 4 pieces on the defensive line that at some point or another are supposed to have some sort of productivity on the defensive line. So it's going to be so interesting to see how this all shakes out. Dario in the chat says, I miss big move Kime. I mean, you know, I've said this once and I'll say it again. I love Monty Force drafting. I love what he did this year in free agency. But he does seem a little, I'm not going to say timid, but he definitely seems a little reserved when it comes down to making those big splashy moves. I'm not sure if the wallet is completely 100% open, regardless of what Michael Bidwell ended up saying. But like you got 3 big names out there that are currently right now in negotiations with their current team and potentially wants to sit out, right? With Trey Hendrickson, Micah Parsons, as well as Terry McLaurin. And it's crickets. It's crickets. You're hearing some rumors here and there of a few different teams reaching out. And we don't know, right? We don't know if the Cardinals have reached out. They might have. They might have called and said, hey, what will it take? Maybe it was too rich. And they're like, okay, we're not going to touch that, right? Maybe they did. Maybe they did their due diligence, right? But when it comes down to obviously the rumors that are coming out with other teams, There definitely seem to be the more aggressive side. Other general managers are definitely a lot more aggressive than what we've seen here from Monty Ossenfort in his tenure. I'm not gonna say he's a bad GM. No, I think he's a good GM. I think he actually built this roster up very, very good. It's just now when we see potential blockbuster moves that could be made. And it doesn't feel like we're in contention. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely something to kind of talk about, right? So I don't miss Keim in general. Like, I think Keim was a terrible drafter. I think his free agency pickups were more misses than they were hits. But man, his trading, but his trading was on point. Like when he was making those time signs, those things were on point. If we can somehow get Monty Ossenfort to kind of get into that realm of like, okay, like the trading is now starting to kind of follow through, then I think we can call Monty the GOAT of general managers for the Arizona Cardinals. Because as of right now, every single year he's doing something a little bit better than the last year. And we'll see. Maybe it starts off next year. I don't know. But yeah, this is going to be fascinating, right? It's going to be very fascinating to see how this roster shakes down. Let's take a couple more comments. You guys are clutch with the comments right now. Um, where Jameson in the chat says, "Little scared, not gonna lie for week one." Yeah, I mean, here's the thing: the Saints are projected to be a very bad team, right? The Saints are projected to be a very bad team, but that doesn't mean that this is going to be an easy cakewalk for the Cardinals. No, we're going into one of the most hostile environments in the NFL in New Orleans, one of the most hostile environments, and every week to the start of the season, every fan base feels like they have a chance at the Lombardi, right? Or at least some chance of something, right? So that fan base over there in New Orleans is going to bring it. They're going to bring it. They're going to bring the noise. They're going to bring the intensity. And it's going to be up to the Arizona Cardinals to see if they can play in that environment. Now, the good thing going for us is that it is a dome stadium. So we have that going for us. And I do believe talent per talent, we have a way much better, superior roster than they do. But you never know, right? Any given Sunday, we've seen crazy things happen on any given Sunday. So there's room to be concerned, right? That's all I'm saying. There's room to be concerned. Yeah, we'll see. Austin, what's up, Austin? I'm good on giving a first round pick for Henderson and a good defensive player. That's what the asking price is. Yeah, I agree. 100%. I'm right there with you as well, Austin. We talked about this, and I think 2 podcasts ago when I was like, hey, would you guys give up a first rounder? And let's say, for example, Zaven, right? Or, for example, BJ Ojolari. And for the most part, everybody in the chat were like, yeah, we would do that, right? Yeah, we would do that. Because obviously, I would favor Micah Parsons over Trey Hendrickson. No doubt in my mind, I would favor him over, but he would cost so much draft capital, and I mean multiple potential first round picks, and maybe some other picks after. And then on top of that, you got to pay him. What seems to be the asking price, at least what was reported for Hendrickson, is a first rounder and a player back. If we can throw them a defensive player that has upside, right, and then give them a first rounder, yeah, I think it's a no-brainer as well. I agree. I think it's a no-brainer, but at the end of the day, right, not our decision. But yeah, I agree with you 100%. John, what's up? To be frank, Keim would mainly trade for old, deteriorating players that would only end up putting out one good year at max minimums, like guys like D Hop, minus guys like D Hop. I mean, that's fair. But that's the thing. Sometimes you got to take a swing, right? I mean, you have a point when it comes down to the way that this roster was built was with older guys, right? Remember when Terrell Suggs ended up coming in and everybody was like, oh, yeah, Terrell Suggs, the Arizona Cardinals should have drafted him to begin with. Terrell Suggs was god awful here. He was collecting a check, and that was a no brainer, right? Now, that wasn't a trade, that was a free agent pickup. But, like, I mean, you got a point. Like, but that's the thing. You shouldn't be building a roster through the free agency, right? And that's what I was trying to get people to understand back then, where people were like, oh, I want to keep Keim because it's good draft. But, like, you got to be able to draft. I would rather take a general manager that is able to draft very, very well and have this young talent on the cheap compared to constantly always doing that, right? But those big time signs, man, there's something to be said about somebody that has you know, the no fright, the no scared to do some big move like that. You got to give credit to where credit is due. Keim did that type of stuff, but I do like Monty way better. Like even off the field stuff, you can't even compare it. Monty Ossenfort seems like a better, well-rounded person, and I know Keim has done at least what you've seen here and there. He's been doing a better job to trying to get his personal life together, and I think he's got another company on the side, which congratulations to him. But yeah, it was long overdue for him to not be the general manager for the Cardinals. I love what Monty's doing, but there's just that one part that I want to see get a little bit better, and that's the trading aspect of it all. Um, let's keep it going. 20 I think somebody's talking about maybe Amari Cooper in the chat. Um, oh yeah, here we go. Yeah, this was one of the best pickups. Oh yeah, this is one of Keim's best pickups. This was not even a question. This was one of his best pickups he's ever gotten. And if I can remember correctly, it was a second round pick, right? And Chandler Jones, what he provided to the Cardinals was absolutely nuts. So yeah, I agree. Let's go with Mr. Go Getter. Do you think we should pick up Amari Cooper? May need a new true. Yeah, I was in on Keenan too. I was in on Keenan. I was in on Elijah Moore before he got picked up by the Bills. I was in on the Cardinals bringing in something different, right? To not run it back with the exact same look that we did before. So yeah, I mean, I am on board with it. The Cardinals do have money right now to spend on a free agent, but it definitely feels like the Cardinals are really putting in a lot of weight on Marvin taking the next step. Trey McBride, obviously, your offense is going through him. Your run game. And then you got your guys like Wilson, Dortch, and Jones. And then I was really hoping a little bit more for Xavier Weaver, if I can be real with you. I was excited about going into year 2 with Xavier, and I think he's going to make the roster. And maybe he just needs a little bit more reps, but I don't think he is better than Zay. I don't think he's better than Dortch either right now. I think he needs to kind of keep learning and kind of get to the point where we'll see, right? I mean, we don't. Maybe week 3 he'll shock us, man. Maybe, right? Maybe in week 3 he'll shock us. But as of right now, the latest report here from the Arizona Cardinals, per Jonathan Gannon, the starters will not be playing versus the Raiders. So the only thing I can hope for right now, right? The only thing I can hope for right now is that the Arizona Cardinals are going to be using a lot more Jacoby this time around compared to last time around, right? Because I don't think people were really upset about the loss. You're going to lose a preseason. It doesn't matter, right? You can be 3-0 and be a terrible team in the regular season. Nobody cared about the loss. People cared about how bad we looked compared to the Denver Broncos 2s, 3s, and 4s. But you never know. Maybe the Raiders 2s, 3s, and 4s are a lot worse, right? So if that's the case and they're not that good, then maybe the Arizona Cardinals can put up some points. And that's all we're looking for. We're just looking for a competitive game. These young guys to get some very valuable reps like Simi Fehoko, right? Xavier Weaver getting some good valuable reps. Your young cornerback core, right? Like Keitrell Clark, Elijah Jones, right? Denzel Burke, those type of guys. Can they get those valuable reps to make them better, right? To make them better. Adrian Taylor Demerson, Keaton Crawford, right? Those type of guys. So, yeah, we'll see how it goes. But as of right now, Battle of the Backups 2.0 heading our way within the next couple days. Last game for the Arizona Cardinals is set to kick off this Saturday at 7 p.m. Arizona time, if I'm not mistaken. It's going to be a late one. It's going to be an absolute late one. So Saturday, August the 23rd, 7 p.m. versus the Raiders. And I don't think I've heard very much about the Raiders starting their starters. I know Genti made some flashes here and there in preseason, but for the most part, I think we're just going to be maybe backups versus backups, or at least that's kind of what I'm thinking. That's probably going to happen. Adam, what's up, Adam? Adam in the chat here saying, where'd it go? I think we should play Jacoby for most of the games. Some of these wide receivers fighting for roster spots get a chance to shine. Dude, I can only hope for at least 2 quarters of Jacoby. That's the only thing I can hope for. Like, I agree with you. I agree with you. I could only hope that you're seeing more of Jacoby Brissett this game around to give us something to fight, right? To give Simi Fehoko, to give Tajon Palmer, to give Xavier Weaver a fair chance and a fair opportunity. Because although JG's right, the offensive line didn't do any favors for Tune, but Jacoby is a far greater player, right? Far greater player at quarterback, and I'm so glad we ended up bringing him in. So let's talk about this real quick, and obviously let's get in let's get you guys involved here in the chat as much as you possibly can. I want to take a look at the depth chart here via ESPN to kind of really come down to a realization of, hey, maybe we might be living in a world where we are not going to be seeing, you know, Walter Nolan. Let's just say we live in a world where Walter Nolan isn't there, right? Let's say we're living in a world where B.J. Ojulari is not ready to go. Let's say we live in a world where Justin Jones or Bilal Nichols aren't going to be available, right? Let's say we live in that world. That's three potential four spots that are going to be open for the Cardinals players to make some sort of push, right? When you're looking at the depth chart and the roster that the Cardinals ended up having, and I don't know if you guys know, but the Cardinals ended up making a new acquisition yesterday. The Cardinals ended up bringing Donovan West, tackle, or former ASU alum, Donovan West. So we are bringing in players. I'm not sure if it's for week 3, camp body, right? Those type of guys that are not going to make the roster. There's a potential. There's a potential there, right? But yeah, we ended up bringing in Donovan West here yesterday, and he was already practicing. But yeah, if we have 3 of those 4 players on the defensive line, those are 3 positions that are potentially going to open up, right? Some people were asking me about Bryson Green. I haven't really seen much of Bryson Green, to be real. I think he actually had a drop ball, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know if he's really going to give us anything. I don't think he's going to make the 53, if I'm going to be real. I know he's 6'1", 210, out of Wisconsin, 22 years old. And I mean, sometimes you just need an opportunity, right? At the end of the day, I just don't think he's really going to amount to very much. Looking at the back end of the wide receiving core continuing, right? Tajon Palmer, I believe it was a 6th round pick a couple years back. Same with him. I just don't think he's really kind of moved the needle. The only other guy that I really like, which is probably Andre Bocelli. But Andre Bocelli always, and I mean always, rolls with the practice squad. Always. It always kind of feels like he's always in the practice squad for the Arizona Cardinals. He's been with us for a very long time. I don't think this is correct when it says 2 years of experience or second season. Maybe they're talking about maybe on the active roster, but he always somehow finds his way back onto the practice squad for the Cardinals. Always. I like him. I think he's a real good wide receiver. I don't think he's better than Dortch or Zay Jones or heck maybe even Simi Fehoko. But yeah, this is the kind of stuff that you really have to kind of go into the weeds and really find out who are going to be brought in, right? So if Hayden Conner is not going to be available, that's another spot that's going to be opened up. Maybe John Gaines does get the opportunity, because John Gaines, when we drafted him, he was supposed to be a guard / center, right? Cardinals used him more as a center. For a whole, it's way better, so that's why he was a starter. But maybe he does make the cut. Yeah, Christian Jones, I heard he's gonna miss some time too, so maybe he lands himself on the IR. It's insane. It's insane to see how many what's the word I'm trying to say? It's insane to see how much injuries to our depth guys we've been dealing with this year. And that's really gone under the radar, to be real. That's been gone under the radar. Now the cornerbacks, let's look at the cornerbacks real quick. Garrett Williams, Max Melton, Will Johnson. 1, 2, 3, right? After them, Jalen Jones. At one point, I thought he was going to make it. Maybe not anymore. I mean, or actually maybe now with all these openings that are happening, right? Denzel Burke, late round pick this last year, but showing some things here and there. Elijah Jones, 3rd round pick last year. I'm telling you, Deshaun Murphy bunting didn't hurt that bad because of obviously getting Will Johnson, but this one hurt big time. When the Cardinals ended up losing Starling Thomas V, that's where I'm like, dang, we're really going to depend on a lot of these young guys, which they could be really good, right? But that can also be a weak point on the defensive side of the ball, which is the cornerbacks. I'm just hoping that our D-line, Calais, Josh Sweat, Dalvin Tomlinson, which returned back to practice yesterday, Darius, Dante Stills, and then LJ Collier can really kind of show out for us on the defensive line. It's funny. I remember when I made the 53-man roster prediction a couple days back, somebody said, I really hate LJ Collier. No, that's not the case. I don't hate LJ Collier, but if I'm going to be real, I would have brought in Justin Jones. Who else? Who else did I have? I guess Justin Jones really is the only one, and specifically because his contract, right? It's not that I like LJ Collier. I think he's good. He was at one point our best defensive lineman a couple years back in 2023. He was our best defensive lineman. It's nuts to say, but now with all these potential not guys that are not going to be available, like Walter Nolan, Bilal Nichols, Justin Jones, right? It opens up room. B.J. Ojulari, obviously 2 different positions, but guys in the defensive line that can potentially be not available, right? So I know I released a video, I believe it was on Tuesday, talking about obviously what John Gambadoro of Arizona Sports ended up saying. And some people were like, oh, it's not reported. It's not right. It's just a prediction. But usually this guy doesn't miss, right? Usually he doesn't miss. He's usually like right on the head when it comes to these things. And we got confirmation by another insider. If you didn't watch the most latest video that we just posted, he ended up saying the same thing where it's 2 weeks from Sunday. 2 weeks from Sunday, we're going to be having our first game in New Orleans. 2 weeks from Sunday. That's not enough time to ramp a guy up, right? Walter Nolan could still be removed off of PUP, right? But he potentially might not be activated, right, on game day. So it's going to be interesting. It's fascinating to see what the Arizona Cardinals are going to be doing, right, moving forward. A lot of moving parts. This is going to be one of the hardest 53-man roster construction prediction I've had probably since I've been on YouTube. And because there's a lot of contingent on, is Walter Nolan playing? Or is he going to be available? Is B.J. Ojulari going to be available? Is Bolon Nichols going to be available? Is Justin Jones going to be available? There's so much implications to kind of go based off of. So it's going to be a tough one, man. It's going to be a tough one. Let's keep reading the comments. What's up, y'all? Appreciate you guys for being here. Jim in the chat says Rams will sweep the West. No way.
Shame. Shame. Shame.
Let's go ahead and put the shame bell on my guy Jim. What's up, Jim? Appreciate you for being here up and foremost. Thank you so very much. But there's no way that's gonna happen. The Rams are favored to win the West, absolutely. But you got to put into perspective, the Arizona Cardinals almost swept you guys when we had a terrible defense, or actually on paper terrible defense, right? Like not good playmaker. We have upgraded this defense tremendously for the Arizona Cardinals. Now the offense is the exact same offense, so I just hope that we can figure it out, right? We can hope we figure out the offensive side of the ball, and if it does, then watch out for this Arizona Cardinal team. Now, I'm not saying the Rams are not good. The Rams are good. They are still, to me, favored to win the West, but this NFC West is going to be a dogfight. Let me tell you. This NFC West is going to be an absolute dogfight from the 49ers, although I don't really believe in them too much, to the Seahawks. Mike McDonald going to his year 2, the Rams that are favored to win the West, and then the Cardinals. You can't sleep on the Cardinals. The Cardinals are going to be a pretty solid team this time around, and I'm excited. I'm excited. Let's keep it going here in the chat. Austin in the chat, I hope we see more of Jacoby too. We only watched a quarter of him. Yeah, it was not even a quarter. Like, he was gone before the quarter even ended. And I was like, just give him the quarter. Come on. But nah, the Cardinals decided to put in Clayton Tune, and we kind of know how that turned out. But I agree with you guys in the chat. Yeah, I would love to see a lot more Tune. A lot more Jacoby. At least 2 quarters or a quarter and a half. Give us something, right? Give us something to put some points up on the board. Let's keep it going on the chat here. From a scale to 10 to 41, how scared are the Cardinals from the Rams? Are you asking how scared are we, like, by the Rams? I mean, here's the thing. The Rams, with the exception of last year, has had our number. The Seahawks right now are the team that's had our number under the whole Geno Smith regime. Geno Smith has owned us for a very, very long time. The Rams were that team until last year, right? Last year, we were so close to be beating the Rams and sweeping them. We were a head doink away, right? If it didn't head doink into the hands of, was it Okelo Witherspoon? Is that who it was? Getting the interception, we potentially could have swept the Rams. We could have. We swept the 49ers. Now, granted, game 2 was against Dobbs, but regardless, we'll take it as it goes. And the Seahawks were really the only ones that gave us any kind of tiffs, right? Any tiffs. But, I mean, I still respect the Rams. If I'm going to put my solid, like a real number here, from 10, it's really weird number, 10 to 41, really odd, but we'll take it. So from 10 to 41, how scared am I of the Rams? I wouldn't say I'm scared, but I'll give them respect, right? I definitely would I would say probably 33. I would say 33, because I got to give respect to respect's due. Like, this guy, this is a team that's probably wanting to win a Super Bowl. Do I think they're going to win one? No, I don't. But it is what it is, right? So let's do this real quick. Continue with the chat, ladies and gentlemen. Continue it with the chat. Keep asking questions. Keep communicating with each other. If this is your first time here, subscribe over to the AZ Sports Fan here on YouTube. Absolutely for free, no cost to you at all. We are on the road to 18K. Cannot do it without you guys. So go ahead and make sure you subscribe it up and smack the like button. Right now, we got over 40, 50 people watching right now on the YouTube side. I know it's not very much, but hey, this channel is mainly a video channel. Like, let's be real, the videos do a lot better than these live streams, but we're going to be doing much more live podcasts to interact with you guys here throughout the season and get your guys' take on this whole situation. So make sure you subscribe it up and smack the like button if you can. But first, a word from our sponsor, My Valley Prints. All right, 30-second break.
Yo, Red Sea, you know how we rep the Cards with pride every Sunday, so why not rep your own squad the same way? Whether it's your business, your team, or your crew, My Valley Prints has you covered with custom screen prints and embroidery right here in the desert. T-shirts, hats, hoodies, you name it. From clean logos to bold game day drip, they'll make your vision look like a first-round pick. Local, reliable, and always bringing that Cardinal level energy. Hit up myvalleyprints@yahoo.com or DM them via Instagram to get your gear started. My Valley Prints, built for the Valley, designed for you.
Another shout out here to My Valley Prints, sponsors of the AZ Sports Fan here on YouTube. If you're looking for your next hat, customizable hoodies, shirts, anything you can think of, go ahead and check out My Valley Prints. Best way to go ahead and reach out to them is going to be most likely through their email address, which is going to be posted right there. But DMing them on Instagram is also a way for you to go ahead and reach out to them. Check out My Valley Prints. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's keep it going. Let's keep it going here in the chat below. We got Thomas in the chat. Says Cooper Kupp is with the Hawks, right? Yes. The Hawks do have Cooper Kupp, which, if he can stay healthy, is a good wide receiver. It's just I feel that they went through an overhaul with their offensive side of the ball. Are they going to be leaning a lot on the run game? Well, yeah, I mean, we'll see. If they do, that's going to be very interesting to see how that offense fluctuates and runs with Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold had himself a very good year last year. Do I believe in him? No, I don't. I don't believe in Sam Darnold, but I also didn't believe in Geno Smith either. So take that with a grain of salt, Cardinal fans. Take that with a grain of salt. I didn't believe in Geno Smith, and he had owned us for a very, very long time. So I'm glad he's out of the NFC West, if I can be real. Let's keep it going here in the chat. We got Thomas in the chat. Jackson Smith and Jigba is the one who hurt us last year. So hopefully Will Johnson can lock him up this year while Mad Max locks up Cooper Kupp. Aged Cooper Kupp. Yeah, I mean, what we have at the cornerbacks in just this team in general, right? In this team in general, I think I ended up saying it on my my post-game show or my post-game reaction after the Broncos game. I ended up saying this, like, I'm not mad at the loss for week 2. I'm not, right? It is what it is. It's second, third, fourth stringers. Of course, when you got to talk about it, sometimes it seems like you're mad, but no, you're just going through obviously what happened. And it was an embarrassing showing. I'm going to be real. It wasn't a good showing for the Cardinals, but it was preseason. It doesn't affect you in 2025. But what we're saying is that, like, we got a lot of potential within a cornerback group. Like, all I'm saying right now is I hope we can stay healthy. If we can stay healthy for the Arizona Cardinals, I think we can be a real good team. My concern is that depth outside your starters is where it's really going to hurt you, right? It's where it's really going to hurt if the Cardinals need to go into the the bucket of guys that, probably your second, third, fourth stringers, right? Those type of guys. So I just hope we can stay healthy if we can. If we can see a Jonah Williams do really well, right? Isaiah Adams, Evan Brown, Fro Holt, Paris Johnson, or whether it's the plan for Will Hernandez to eventually come back to this line. We don't know, right? I just hope everybody can stay healthy through the weapons, to the quarterback, to the running back, to the defensive linemen that we have. Hopefully everybody can stay healthy, and all the defense as well. So, because I'm worried. That's one thing I'm worried about is the lack of depth. It's the lack of depth that we have. Tony in the chat, look up career stats between Kyler and Darnold. John in the chat. No offense, Mike, but I think Brandon kind of cooked you on the debate you guys had about Kyler versus Darnold. I mean, it depends on how you look at it, right? It depends on how you look at it, because I was actually talking about it, like the Arizona Cardinals. Like, this division is different. Like, this division here, it doesn't matter if you're the worst team out there, right? Because at one point, the Arizona Cardinals swept the 49ers when they had no business to sweep the 49ers. Like, what I was saying is that I think Seahawks fans were getting it a little twisted, right? They were saying that, oh, we think he's number 4 because of, I'm talking about Sam Darnold. Like, when we were ranking them, the quarterbacks, we ended up agreeing with, obviously, Stafford being number 1, number 2 being Purdy, and that might be, make people upset, but let's be real, Purdy has accomplished a lot within his team and what he's done. Kyler being number 3 and then that number 4, right? People were really fighting for that number 3, number 4 spot. I don't think he cooked me one bit. I think I stood on my 10 toes and I was being real. I think Kyler Murray could be the best quarterback in this division if he can figure it out. The problem is that he's not able to figure it out. The inconsistencies is what's really getting him, but the ability, the athletic ability of what Kyler Murray is and who he is like could be great, but it's just how can we unlock that potential, right? How can we unlock that potential to be consistent? Sam Darnold has proven to have one good season, and that's one good season that is, right? And he had a good one. Don't get it twisted. He had a great season with the Vikings. He did. He absolutely did. But I'm not going to put him over Kyler Murray because he had one good season. He's going to a brand new system, right? Completely brand new system. Is he going to work? This is the same guy that went through multiple different teams, multiple opportunities. And at the end of the day, it just kind of really depends on how you look at it, right? Kyler Murray has gone through, he's with the same team, but let's be real, a lot of the teams that were built, they weren't that great. They weren't that great at all. So I don't think he cooked me, to be honest with you. I think he's a rightful to his opinion. He's going to be backing his Seattle Seahawks, but for the most part, everybody on that panel agreed that Kyler was the third, not the fourth. It's crazy to say that to me. And yeah, 100%. And I also mentioned this as well. When has Kyler Murray ever have a Jefferson, a Jordan Addison, TJ Hawkinson? Well, actually, I don't think TJ Hawkinson was healthy throughout that entire year. But when did he have the weaponry like that? When did he ever have a Aaron Jones, right? Like a complete team. Now, yes, we have James Conner, and I'm fully aware, but never had anything like that before. No, never, right? I mean, obviously, Justin Jefferson is one of the best wide receivers in the NFL. He's going to make everybody look good. So there's that. Let's see here. John. No, you're good, man. No, you're good. He did have D-Hop. You're 100%. He did have D-Hop. You're 100% right. And here's the thing too, like, guys, don't ever feel like, sorry. Sometimes I kind of get a little like it sounds like I'm not mad or anything. Like this is just my podcast. This is just my podcast voice. Yeah, I'm not mad or anything like that, ladies and gentlemen. Like, yeah, this is why I love doing this. Like, we have the conversation back and forth, and we obviously have discourse. This is the beauty. This is the beautiful part of doing these type of things, right? Because we can interact in the chat. And if you guys aren't here, I'm talking to myself on a camera. I love that you guys are here. You guys are sitting here on a Thursday. You guys can do absolutely something else with your life. So I appreciate you guys for being here. I'm never going to be upset for anybody saying I'm wrong or I'm right or anything. So I appreciate you guys for being here. Absolutely. Let's keep it going. Cards fan, what's up, buddy? To be honest with you, I think Kyler is better than Purdy. Here's the thing, right? Last year, I fought tooth and nail for Kyler. And here's the thing: this NFC West roundtable has only started a year and a half ago. And that's what people don't understand. This NFC West roundtable, and if you guys don't know what I'm talking about, every Tuesday night, the NFC West roundtable goes live where we have a representative for the Seattle Seahawks, the Cardinals, which is me, the Rams, as well as the Seahawks. Right now, there's two teams that really show out. Two teams that show out and completely annihilate that chat. Two teams. It's not the 49ers and Cardinals. It's the Seahawks and the Rams. Those two fan bases right now have so much hype about their team that they are so involved in that chat right now. I hope one day that the Cardinals, us, right, the Bird Gang, can go into the chat and really kind of, come up and back up what we're saying. But last year, I fought tooth and nail for Kyler. Tooth and nail for Kyler to be the number 2 guy. I fought tooth and nail for Kyler Murray to fight the number 2 guy. And it's just, we're seeing the same things over and over again. And it's kind of getting to the point where we're like, damn, come on, buddy, let's get this going, right? Let's click, let's get it clicking. So that's one of the main reasons why I didn't really fight this time around. Purdy has taken his team to the Super Bowl, multiple playoff wins, has had much success as a quarterback, being Mr. Irrelevant. What he's done is a great story. Kyler Murray is a great story too. He's got some individual accolades, but to me, I mean, what's more important to me as a fan, to be honest with you, is wins in November and December in playoff wins. That's more important to me than having a QB was rookie of the year and 2-time Pro Bowler, right? Much more important to me is that. It could be different though. It could be different from everybody else. So if you guys feel that Kyler's better than Purdy, that's cool. I respect it. John Johnson, I like to play a little bit. No, that's cool, man. You got to throw a wrench, man. You got to throw a wrench. Thomas in the chat. Murray has Harrison though, and Trey. I think Kyler makes questionable decisions like throwing into triple coverages or straight to defenders. Yes, Kyler has Marvin, but Marvin Harrison Jr. right now is in nobody's top 10 in terms of wide receivers right now. We think he is, because Cardinal fans, you know us, right? We think he is. Like, let's be real, Cardinal fans. We think he is. But right now, he still needs to prove it. Trey McBride, obviously, top 3 tight end in the NFL. There's no debate there, right? But Jefferson is number 1, 2, or 3 on anybody's, whoever you're talking about right now. He's one of the best wide receivers in the NFL right now. So it's different. Let's keep it with the chat. You guys are freaking firing it in, man. Appreciate y'all. Appreciate you. Eddie, Purdy and Kyler had the exact same stats last year. So how is Kyler any better? You asking me or probably chat? I mean, you're probably asking the chat, right? Because I know you, Eddie. You're probably asking the chat. You're not asking me. I mean, we all want to believe that Kyler Murray is better. We know that Kyler Murray athletically can be the best quarterback in this division. Athletically, he could be. It's just we haven't seen it put together in the full 17 samples or game sample size. That's the problem, right? That's the problem. So, but yeah, Purdy is better. Oh, wait, Purdy is better, but not Darnold. Yeah, oh yeah, well, yeah, not Darnold. Let Darnold prove it. Let Darnold prove in the NFC West that he can hang with the big dogs, right? And I know the NFC North has been very good in the past year or so. I get it. The Lions have been good. The Packers are always going to be good. Vikings always seem to be some sort of contention, and then you got the Bears, which are going to hopefully take a big step. But let's see what Darnold does here with the with these guys, right? The NFC West. This is one of the best divisions of football, and going to reign as one of the best divisions of football this year. And there's no debate there. Like that, this is going to be one of the best divisions. So let's see how he hangs here. It ain't the NFC North. It ain't the NFC. This is going to be a good division. I'm excited. Let's keep it going here in the chat. You guys are coming up here with the fire, man. Fire. For the people that are just joining in and wondering what we're doing and what we're talking about, he's not going to hang in our division. I don't think he will either. I honestly don't think he will either. But for the people that are just joining in here, Jonathan Gannon did already let everybody know that the plan or the game plan for the starters is going to be very similar to last week, which was versus the Broncos. So Jonathan Gannon already told us that the starters will not be starting in week 3. We can only hope as Cardinal fans that we're going to be seeing at least maybe 1.5 quarters of Jacoby or 2 quarters of Jacoby Brissett to give these guys, your Xavier Weaver, your Simi Fehoko, your Tajon Palmer, your Andre Bocelli, a real fair shot and chance to make this 53-man roster, right? Only thing we can hope for right now. All in on Darnold. All in. All in all, Darnold is intriguing me. He did look good in preseason, right? He was 4 for 4. He looked good. But that's kind of one of those things, right? Like, if you're one of those guys that take a lot out of preseason, then that could intrigue you. But I have seen some people here, and I'm not saying you, John, but I have seen some people that are like, they want to pick and choose when it's good, right? Like, because I think preseason is important. I'm one of those guys that feel like it's important. And I'm going to give flowers to people that do really good in preseason because at the end of the day, football's hard, right? You got to have all 11 guys be in sync, and it's a hard game to play. It is. Like, I was really happy about what Jaden Daniels did. I thought he did fantastic in that drive or two he had. I thought, Shedeur Sanders did pretty solid as well. So when I'm talking about preseason number 2, of course, I'm going to talk about what went wrong and what didn't look good for the Cardinals because that's just kind of what happens. But I'm watching paint dry. RC3, what's up, buddy, man? He says, I'm watching paint dry of Tune plays. Yeah, no, 100%. This is, it's brutal. It's brutal for sure. But when Tune comes in, I'm debating if we should do a live stream this coming Saturday. Maybe we'll do a live stream for the first half of the game because I ain't gonna lie to you, ladies and gentlemen. Like, this game with Tune is gonna be rough. I mean, unless Tune like turns it up and he's actually really, really good. But we'll have to kind of wait and see. But like, if we do a live play-by-play, it'll probably be if Jacoby Brissett plays a good amount of snaps. Like, I'm probably not gonna watch 3 quarters of Tune. That offense was egregious, right? Is that the word Kyler used? Egregious? Yeah, I'm not gonna watch that. It's crazy. Freddie, Mike, we're getting 14 wins. Woo! Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo! That's funny. That's funny. Not funny. I'm sorry. That's not funny. That's bold. Is what I meant to say. It's not funny. That's bold. 14 wins. Well, Freddie. Well, from your mouth to the football god's ears, man. From your lips to the football god's ears. I think here at the end of the day, we're going to have to wait how this shakes out. I hope this game is better than. I hope this game's good. That's all I gotta say. I hope this is a good game. Nate in the chat says Rams are going 9-8. Antoine, what's up, Antoine? To be fair, I look at what Kyler has to work with. He has never had a team in terms of the offense and defense. Well, let me ask you this, Antoine, real quick. Do you think Kyler's got the offense right now? Do you think he's got the offense right now? Offensive line, weaponry. Do you think he's got that right now? Because I think defense, I think we can all agree, defensively, he's got enough defensively, right? In order for them to get stops, right? Force turnovers, right? Win games here and there, right? So question to you, like not just Antoine, everybody in the chat. Do you think right now Kyler Murray's got enough to win right now? Trey McBride, Zay Jones, Mike Wilson, Marv, Dortch, James Conner, right? Do you think right now Kyler's got enough to win? Let me know in the chat. Defensively, I'm not even going to put that. I think defensively it's a yes, right? But what say you guys? He went 8-0. I think it was 7-0 if I'm not mistaken, right? I think it was 7-0. But that was a long time ago, my guy. That's a long time ago. That was in 2021. That wasn't a couple years ago. That was 4 years ago. 2021 seems like a very far away because 2022 is when he got hurt. 2023 is when we rebuild with Gannon. 2024 is when Kyler came back fully healthy, and now 2021 is a long time ago, man. Long time ago. Chef in the chat says I do. So you feel like he's got enough to win games? Okay. Well, Monty Ossenfort believes it too. Yeah, I mean Jonathan Gannon believes it too, right? Especially when you're not making any moves. They believe it. They believe he's got enough to win with James, with Trey Benson, with Michael Wilson, Marv, Trey, Zay Jones, right? And the offensive line, which honestly, the offensive line is actually pretty solid. People don't want to give credit to the offensive line, but they're good. They're solid. Antoine, what's up, buddy? He says, I believe he has enough this year to compete for sure. Okay. Let's rock and roll. Lock and loaded. Let's get this going. I hope so, buddy. I hope so too. I know I preach and harp on that I wanted the Cardinals to get a wide receiver. I still do, but I'm not gonna lie to you. Now that we're seeing Zay Jones a little bit over Greg Dortch, that gives us somewhat of a different look. Which that's enough for me to say, okay, well let's see what this does, right? I believe in Michael Wilson. I love Marvin, obviously, and then Zay Jones being your main slot, but obviously sharing it probably with Greg Dortch here and there. Yeah, I agree. James Conner being one of the best running backs in the NFL, hard running, running back in the NFL, James Conner. Yeah, I think we got the weapons too. Keep going with the chat here. Thomas in the chat says, Dortch is too small. Wilson cannot live up to potential. Zay Jones is 30 years old, I think. I don't know, man. I think Wilson, if given the opportunity, I think he would be better. You got to keep in mind as well that, like I've been saying, this whole training camp, kind of been sprinkling here and there, the ball isn't going to Zay Jones, to Michael Wilson as much. Like, this offense is running through Marvin and Trey. Like that, in terms of the passing attack, right? Like, obviously, the run game is going to be James Conner and Benson. But, like, if you go into any of these training camps or look at these preseason games or given any opportunity for Kyler Murray to be the starter there, this offense is running through them. And it's almost kind of unfair to say that about Michael Wilson. I think Michael Wilson is a good, solid number 2 guy, maybe 2.5 guy. I know he's kind of fringe 3, just depending on who you ask to people. But, we've seen him make some insane catches. We've seen him do some good things if given the opportunity. It's just most of the balls are going to Marvin Trey. Like, that's the first and second look of Kyler. Dortch, on the other hand, that's why I'm glad that Zay Jones is coming in. Now, you're right. I think he's up there in age. I think he's in his 30s, but he's looked pretty good in training camp. Jay, what's up, Jay? I really hope we trade for Trey with a dominant defense and a great run game. That's Super Bowl winning potential. I'm telling you. If you go after Trey Hendrickson, and I want to make sure that I say this every single time because people are always like, oh, you want Trey Hendrickson over Micah Parsons? No, I want Micah Parsons over Trey Hendrickson. But the cheaper route, the route that is still going to be expensive per money, but draft capital wise is going to be Trey Hendrickson. The last reported thing that came out was that the Bengals are looking for a first round pick and a player, right? Tell me right now, chat, if you were to give up a first round pick and a defensive lineman like B.J. Ojolari or Zaven Collins, would you do it? I think most people would say yes. Because yeah, you don't have a first round pick next year, but you have one in 2027, right? So I mean, that truly means you're going all in. It almost kind of feels like the Cardinals are in on this year, but like they don't think there's like a deep into playoff type of like they're gonna. This is a playoff team, right? No doubt, this is a playoff team, but like not built for a championship, right? They're not built for a championship. I feel like they're one piece away. And you're right. I think if you bring in a Trey Henderson, expectations change for the Arizona Cardinals. I think you're 100% right on that. Tempico says, on paper, yes, but the play scheme and chemistry needs sharpen. Yeah, well, the chemistry has been something that we've been talking about, unfortunately, for a very, very long time. Yeah, it's rough, man. It's rough. John, that's why if Kyler doesn't improve this year, I'm personally yeah. Well, you're not alone, John. You're not alone, John. We also got my guy Fausto here on the chat. Feels the exact Fausto in the chat here also feels the same way. And you know, it's rightfully so. Everybody kind of has that same thought process of like, damn, like if you can't get it done now with this, right? And what is getting it done, right? What's getting it? Is it playoffs? Is it winning games in November? Because the last 7 games for the Cardinals last year, we were 6-4 in the bye week. 6-4. That was potential to win the division. And guess what? Like, people don't understand that. Who's the guy that was like, there's so many comments out there saying, oh, Mike needs to fight for your Arizona Cardinal team a lot better. Why is he not fighting for the Arizona Cardinals in the NFC West podcast, right? The reason why is because we keep crushing and burning at the end of the year. We went 2-5 in the last 7 games last year. That's not cool. That's not acceptable. For the first 10 weeks of the season, I was riding high with my shades on. I was excited. I was happy that the Arizona Cardinals are doing. I was talking, right? Chest puffed out now. But the problem is that the stigma and the expectation and the thought of like, oh, damn, well, can they win those games at the end? That's kind of always behind your mind, unfortunately. So, I mean, what's making it for Kyler? Winning those November, December games, which is going to be brutal. Brutal. The schedule gods didn't do us any favors. They did not do us any favors at all. Starting with the last 6 weeks, the Buccaneers, the Rams, the Texans, the Falcons, the Bengals, and the Rams. Those last 6 games are going to be crucial to are the Arizona Cardinals going to be in the playoffs or going to be a division winner. These 6 games, that's November football for you. Bucks, Rams, Texans, Falcons, but we'll see how they come out. Bengals, and then the Rams. That's tough. That's a tough schedule for you. So, football gods didn't do us any favors, like I said. Nate in the chat says we always start hot but fumble the bag. That's the problem, right? That's the problem. That's why I don't understand that people are trying to come at me when I'm in this NFC. I'm trying, man. I'm trying to fight. I'm trying to fight it within this NFC West. But guess what? Recency bias says the Arizona Cardinals start off good, but AKA fumbled the bag, right? That's what recency bias says. And it's going to continue to say unless we prove it wrong, right? So here we go. Positive thoughts going into 2025, no doubt. Positive thoughts going into 2025, no doubt. Let me give you guys another reminder. For every single guy here watching on X and Twitter or on YouTube, appreciate you guys for being here up and foremost. Smack the like button if you guys haven't done so already. I would love to see every single one of you guys on the YouTube side on the NFC West Roundtable. If you don't know what I'm talking about, every Tuesday we go live on the NFC West Roundtable at 6 p.m. AZ time. Now, when the the time changes, it probably will change time, but obviously we'll give you guys a heads up on when that happens. But every Tuesday on the NFC West Roundtable, we go live. And what do? We chop it up everything NFC West, ladies and gentlemen. Here it is. We just hit 5K probably about a week ago. every Tuesday. I kid you not. Check this out, man. This show is nuts. We had over 500 viewers, and it's going to get crazier during the season. That's preseason. That's preseason for you. So if you guys can do me a favor, if you're not doing anything on Tuesday nights, bookmark it if you can to go ahead and make sure you show up on the chat, because I kid you not, who has the most support in this chat right now is Brandon, Seahawks guy, and Jake, Rams guy. It used to be 49ers, Jesse. It never used to be me. Never. Maybe until the first half of the season. Maybe it was me. It was a lot of Cardinal fans in the chat. But let's not shy away now. Let's prove that we can show up. So next Tuesday, 6 p.m. AZ time, bookmark this channel here. All you need to do is search up the NFC West Roundtable, put your post notification bell on, and show up in the chat. Because man, oh man, oh man, I'm tired of being overrun. I'm tired of being overrun, ladies and gentlemen. So yes, there's that. There's also Jonathan Gannon already telling us that starters will not be playing this weekend. So there's that. And shout out here to My Valley Prince, sponsors of the AZ Sports Fan here on YouTube. If you're looking for your next project, check out My Valley Prince. Go ahead and make sure you email them there on that Yahoo, myvalleyprince@yahoo.com. And you can go ahead and DM them on their Instagram as well. Make sure you shoot them a follow over there as well. So yeah, if you guys can do me that favor, if you guys don't like bouncing back and forth on, different channels, cool, no worries, I understand. I know sometimes people don't even like doing that, but for what it's worth, check it out. It's such a good show. It really is. It gets you a in-depth, real, how does it feel, all the news coming from the NFC West, which is in our division. Brandon and Jesse are so funny. They're cool, man. They're really cool. Here we go. Fausto in the chat. Just a thank you. Appreciate you. Yes, if you guys can show up, that would be great. Every Tuesday night during the season, it's going to be nuts. We're going to have over 500-700 people in that chat. And mostly they're Seahawks and Rams fans. But that can change. That can change. Appreciate you. All right, let's do a couple more comments, and then we're going to be closing up shop. Thank you guys so very much for being here. We got Flying Solo. What's up? Since the Cards have been an early bye week this season, and if we get hot after the bye week, we can win the division. I still think a division is a potential for the Cardinals. I really do. I think it can be very, very real possibility. He be in the chest. I'm afraid my boy Ojulari gets cut. We talked about this in the last video that we mentioned. So, I mean, anything's a possibility. Let's end off with Jay. Mike, what's your prediction of Walter Nolan? Is he going to be ready for by week 1 or end up on the PUP list? From what I'm hearing, it sounds like he's not going to be ready for week 1. It's what I'm hearing. Now, how are the Cardinals going to be able to maneuver this? Is he going to be ready by week 2, 3, 4? Well, that's the big question, right? He's not going to be ready for week 1 is what I've been hearing. So if the Cardinals decide to remove him off the PUP list to avoid the 4 weeks on IR, right? Because that's a possibility as well. Even if he's not available in week 1, we can still remove off of PUP, put him as an inactive player in game day versus the Saints, and kind of get him ramped up to hopefully come back week 3 or week 4, right? So with what I'm hearing, week 1, it seems like it's not going to happen. Unfortunately. I wanted to see what he does. I think he's going to be coming back sometime this year. But as of right now, we're just going to have to kind of wait to see what Walter Nolan does for the Arizona Cardinals on this defensive line. Good thing is that Monty set us up for success. That's one thing we got going for us. All right. Let's close up shop right here, ladies and gentlemen. Appreciate everybody for tuning in. You guys are all absolutely amazing. Smack the like button on your way out. Subscribe to the AZ Sports Fan here on YouTube. Appreciate every single one of you guys for being here. Have a great rest of your day. And as always, go Cardinals.